What is up? Welcome to Etsy Jam. In this episode, we discuss how to know when you should close your Etsy shop. When is the best time to move on? What do you need to focus on when you do? How much traffic drives past the end of your driveway? Find out next on Etsy Jam. What is up, guys? Welcome to Etsy Jam, the show where we have slap-happy conversations about very serious topics. I'm Gordon from Marmalead.
And I'm Richie from Marmalead. And if you don't know what Marmalead is, you should definitely check us out because we are the best Etsy SEO tool and market research tool for serious sellers. So if you are serious about the success of your shop, you should definitely check us out. And we're spelled MARMALEAD.com. Check us out. Go there. Also, Marmalead is what makes it possible for Gordon and I to do the Etsy Jam because we do that full-time. That's our full-time thing. And we do this to kind of a content outlet for all the ideas and to really reach you guys at a more scale and talk with you. So, Gordon, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about why you should turn off this podcast immediately and go close your Etsy shop.
Oh, that sounds compelling. All right, so those of you who are still listening and didn't close the podcast and close your Etsy shop.
Yeah, I don't know if we should be mad about that or not.
If they're still listening?
Oh, yeah, because we told them not to. But on the other hand, it's kind of cute that they're still sticking around.
Could we forgive them?
I think we can.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We're very forgiving. All right. So, so a little background. There are some reasons why you would close an Etsy shop. It's not like you would just something you just make a decision lightly of to open and to keep and all that stuff. But there seems to be this kind of sentiment, and it's not really like a really strong sentiment, but it's one of those that it pops up, and when it pops up, you notice it and you take notice of it. But there's a sentiment that once you become a certain level of success on Etsy, that you've grown up and you're graduating, and all of a sudden you're going to leave that behind because you don't need that anymore, and you're going to go off and you're going to make your own site. Maybe you're going to make it on Shopify, or you're going to just use whatever other platform, maybe Squarespace, whatever, WordPress. You're going to do things. You're going to have your own shop, and the grass is so much greener over there. You don't have to pay any fees for anything, except for like the web hosting and stuff, and the the credit card processing that you got to do, and your own ads. And then when this thing over here doesn't work, you got to kind of go to their support thing, and they don't get paid when you get paid, so it's kind of a different arrangement.
Probably gonna need a domain name.
Yeah, you're gonna kind of need that too.
Probably gonna want HTTPS, so like some kind of SSL cert.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely gonna want that. They're wondering right now what that is. And then like 3 people listening are gonna be like upset because I don't think they know what it means. They do. Like, okay, I understand. I'm not talking about you though.
We know you know.
Right? But sometimes even if you do know, and if you do know how to do that, it's still not the right move to just do that one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the background. That's the background of the conversation.
That is the background. Yeah.
So I think that no matter how successful you get online selling, if your Etsy shop is working for you, why would you close it? Why would you close an avenue that's not working? That's like, that's the same as if you have an Etsy shop and a standalone shop, and you're like, oh, my standalone shop is doing so well, I don't need it anymore. I'm just going to go over to Etsy instead. Why stop what's working? Do more of what's working. So if your Etsy shop is at a point where things are going well, why would you stop it? And the way I see it, there's all sorts of, I guess the way it is, not just the way I see it, but there's all different sorts of shoppers. And you're going to find shoppers that know what Etsy is, right? And if they know what Etsy is and they're looking for a particular product and you're on Etsy, there is a chance they're going to find you. But ask that same person that knows what Etsy is, and then go ask them if they know what insert your shop name here is.
Yeah.
Chances are they've got no clue what that is.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of the people that are buying on Etsy, yes, they see your shop name and everything, but they might not remember, right? You pull out the bow headband and be like, oh, where'd you get that? Well, I got it on Etsy. They might not remember exactly what the shop name was.
Yeah. Yeah. This is very true.
But they know Etsy. These are sales you wouldn't otherwise get.
Mm-hmm.
unless all of a sudden you want to compete with Etsy and things like advertising,
Mhm.
which personally I wouldn't really want to do. But if you're going to,
Yeah.
why not be over here too?
Yeah.
You know, they're going to reach so many people. You're going to reach so many people. Combine those.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like social media too.
Yeah.
Like you've got a lot of friends going on Facebook. You're just gonna close that down and be like, come over here to, you know,
Joe's
Gordon's Goofy
friends.
Social Network, and we're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
hang out
even
over
better.
here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, just leave that. I know everyone else is over there.
Yeah.
I know that's where people think they can find you, but not anymore because I'm leaving. I'm going over here.
Yeah. Gordon's Goofy Group.
Gordon's Goofy Group.
Yeah. It's where all the
Yeah.
cool kids are going.
It's where all the cool kids are going. That part's true. Only the cool people are actually going over there. Everyone else is just staying on the other place. They're not so cool.
Yeah. It would be like I have a lemonade stand in a food court, and I decide that I don't really want to be in the food court anymore, and I move it to the end of my driveway.
That's a good example because I don't know about you, but the end of my driveway is where people are constantly congregating looking for lemonade.
And they're thirsty.
They're like, hey,
that's the thirstiest people in the world at the end of my driveway.
I hear that right here is where I can quench my thirst with some delicious lemonade. Where's this thing at?
Yeah.
Definitely not in the food court where people are buying, salty French fries and stuff like that. I mean, that stuff doesn't make them hungry.
No.
Or thirsty.
No. Neighborhoods make them hungry.
That does.
And all mailboxes.
Walking around, getting their mail.
Yeah.
Man, exactly. I'm thirsty. Getting their mail and they're like, man, I'm thirsty. But my lemonade is all the way inside. It's so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
If only there was some right here.
Yeah, and I haven't even made it, right? It's like the dry powdered stuff is in the pantry, and I need to mix it with water, and so taxing.
It's kind of a nice analogy, too. Etsy kind of made lemonade for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, I think you should do both. Well, wait. Step back. I don't think both is for everyone. I don't think that all of a sudden, just because you can have an Etsy shop, you should go do this other thing. Because there's a lot of extra complications to it. What I think is if you think you are someone that needs an off Etsy shop, you should keep your Etsy shop.
Yeah,
assuming it's going well for you.
Yeah.
Don't stop doing what's working.
Right.
Okay. I think that's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
If you have something that's working.
Yeah. And if it's the other end of the things, like things are going great for you, and let's say you want to move to Shopify or Amazon Handmade or whatever, and you are closing your Etsy shop because you don't want the extra business, well, then the problem isn't really Etsy. It's that you can't handle that much extra business. So solve that problem, right? Like pull someone in, a friend or family member, or pay someone to come help you out and start taking care of the stuff that you can't do all on your own anymore, right? Like don't solve the problem by cutting off the business.
Right. And what's your gain going to be anyway at that point too? I guess if you do have two and this one's growing, I mean, sure, like hope it keeps doing it, but you better hope that if you cut off the Etsy one, like you can build that back up to that size.
Yeah.
And it's not kind of like a fluke or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you want to make sure that things are good.
Yeah.
And if you're like, well, I'm successful here, I can definitely be successful over here. Like, keep in mind, like, there's a lot of different stuff. There's a lot of different stuff that Etsy has that your own shop doesn't have.
Yeah.
There is a certain level of trust, which tends to be a high one, about dealing with Etsy. Like, if you buy from a shop on Etsy, Etsy's got your back. You use PayPal, PayPal's got your back. Like, all this stuff, they got your back.
Yeah.
When you buy on some random website, which, you are, the rest of the world, we are random websites.
Yeah.
No, so you are. There's kind of this feeling like, if I give them my money, will I see anything in return?
Yeah.
Right?
What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
This is true. There
are scams out there, and they put it on the news, and then all of a sudden, my mom just let me lectures on like why I need to make sure there's a little, green lock in the ULR bar, and I'm like, green lock? What's that about? Just kidding. I know what that is. But I hear that. People tell me, they're like, this was on the news the other night, and you got to make sure not to use your credit card online unless there's this and that.
Well,
and
yeah.
I'm like, well, Yeah, I think that's true. And I guess the fact that they're still talking about that means that everyone doesn't know about it. But
Yeah.
people see that kind of stuff, and it makes them nervous.
Yeah.
There are
There's
people that are nervous to buy on Etsy or Amazon
mhm.
and stuff like that because they're not quite sure if they can trust
There's a lot of times that I'm searching for computer stuff for
them.
photography, like lenses and stuff like that, and I can find it cheaper on other websites, right? But
Yep.
if it's a website that I don't know about, that does make me nervous, especially for more expensive things, something that I really care about. If it's quality, I'm going to go
Mhm.
with someplace that I've bought before, even if it means I'm paying a little bit more money. I'd
Yep.
rather be like almost positive that I'm going to receive something that's quality for the extra money that I'm paying than run the risk of losing that little bit less money, all of it, like all gone.
Right?
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, when you see, Joe's discount camera on there and it's $20 cheaper,
yeah.
you have to wonder,
Yeah.
like, okay, what's going on? Why is it
Yeah. What's
why is
up,
it 20
Joe?
bucks cheaper?
Yeah.
Who is this? And what's going on? Versus some of the other names you see out there, which I can't think of because I don't really buy anything camera related, but
Yeah.
it,
BH Photo Video. Amazon.
there you
Even.
go. I
Yeah.
do know about that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When you have heard of these things and and you're like, oh, look, all these other, I know Gordon talked about that and he had good experiences and he
Yeah.
actually got his stuff. Like you're gonna feel better about that.
Yeah.
That's definitely the difference. Not kind of the difference. That is a huge difference between
Yeah.
being on that platform, being on this platform.
Hmm.
But I'd say, there's that, and then really the huge one is people know about this, and people keep learning about this, and this platform has a huge vested interest in constantly sending you people to it because that's how they
Yep.
get paid. So
Yeah.
their marketing budget is so much bigger than any individual person could possibly be.
Yeah. I mean, look at any of the posts and communications that Etsy sends out, and so many times they try to keep reiterating the idea that you guys are a team. They're on your side. Like
Hmm.
they do well when you do well, right? Like if you're not selling anything, if nobody is selling anything on Etsy, then Etsy's probably not going to be around that long. They're not going to be making any
Yeah,
money off of nobody selling anything. So they have an interest in you guys doing well, and just the same way, you should have an interest in Etsy's well-being also.
absolutely. And I tell you what, when people say, well, Etsy's expensive, business is expensive.
Yeah.
You might not realize how much stuff things cost until you go out there and actually have to pay for like all these individual services that you have to string together.
Yeah.
It adds up
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Guess what? You're going to have your own site, and I'm pretty sure you're going to want to be taking people's credit cards.
Yep.
There's a fee associated with that. Like that's just something. That's the way credit card transactions work. You're going to have to take a fee. You're going to have to pay a fee to be able to process those credit cards. And so, just like you're paying Etsy a certain amount for every listing that's sold, part of that goes towards covering that fee that Etsy has to pay for processing the credit card.
And do you want to know about PCI compliance? I'll
No,
tell
you
you what,
don't. You don't. You don't. You
You
really
don't want
don't.
to know about it. You don't want to. You don't want anybody asking you
Yeah.
if you know about it
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You definitely don't want to worry about that.
Yeah.
Because it's a pain. We don't like it. We prefer not to have to worry about that.
Yeah.
We do it because it's the right thing to do and because you need to do it and everything. But
Yeah.
it's not fun.
No,
You
I
know?
don't. I don't wake up and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna work on some PCI stuff today.
Right? Yeah. I can't wait to just play and work on the things that no one sees. Okay, because those are the behind the scenes things that keep everything safe. But
Yeah.
that no one sees. No one writes you any emails and says, "Hey, thank you
Hey,
for your
thanks
work on
for
the
the
PCI
secure
compliance."
site. Yeah. Thanks for not getting my credit card stolen. I appreciate that. It's
Right?
just something you do, right? It's the right way to do things. You got to do it. But do you think about it? Do you really want to mess with that stuff with your own website? I don't know. Maybe you do.
Maybe you do. I don't know. Good luck. Um, we have a different definition of fun then. Other things. Other beefs people have with Etsy. Okay, it's expensive. Yes, business is expensive. I don't think Etsy's more expensive than having your own thing. Especially once you try doing your own thing at scale. Other things creep in.
Yeah.
And
Oh
they have a
yeah.
lot of nice
Especially when you
discounts
consider
that you realize.
the size of the audience that Etsy's bringing to you. That there's value in that, right? How do you put a price on that? I don't know.
Their hosting is fast too. When you're on
Mhm.
Etsy, you have good, fast. They have CDN networks, content delivery networks, meaning like all around the world, people are seeing your stuff fast.
Mhm.
I don't know how much experience our listeners have with like shared hosting platforms like Bluehost and HostGator and stuff like that, but they are not as fast. They are cheap. They are not as fast. So if you want to be serving up things like videos and images, because you know, please tell me your shop has high quality images because you really need it. And ideally you have some video. Once you start getting into all this stuff, it's expensive. Etsy handles a lot of that stuff for you, and they just throw it in there. But
Yeah.
video hosting,
Yeah.
sure, you can use like YouTube and stuff like that. But then you get other people's ads pop up as soon as someone's done watching a video. And what are they doing when they're done watching your video? They're watching someone else's video instead of doing the thing you just asked them to do, because they're like, ooh, squirrel. Literally, there's literally a water skiing squirrel popped up on the video ad thing.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's a literal
crazy.
squirrel distraction.
Yeah, so you're like, hey, just go add this to the car. It's gonna be nice and simple. Like, ooh, look at that. It's a squirrel. It's water skiing.
Whoa. Gotta watch this.
Everyone loves that water skiing squirrel. A real thing, by the way. There's a water skiing squirrel.
Yeah, it was an Anchorman.
Yeah, that's right. It was an Anchorman. I didn't get to see it, but there was this outdoor show in Cleveland at the IX Center years ago, and they had the water skiing squirrel there, but I wasn't there for when he had his
life jacket on.
Yeah, he didn't have his life jacket on. He was taking a little break. He's a real diva now that he got real
some Mai Tais.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm only doing this many shows a day.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to his little squirrel trailer. Another time, totally a side note. I'm sorry, but at that same show, they had bear wrestling. Now there weren't bears wrestling each other. They literally had a black bear, and they called people up from the crowd that volunteered to wrestle the bear. Yeah, I know. You're raising your eyebrows. And you're like, what is this? Yeah. They were literally wrestling a big black bear.
Dude, what was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio that came out not that long ago? I can't think of it, but he got attacked by a bear in the film, and I was like, I would never want to fight a bear.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't want to fight a bear. It did not go well for these people, by the way.
The bear won.
I feel bad for the bear because, it wasn't exactly like, the bear just did like destroy these people.
Yeah.
But it's still like a bear in captivity.
They didn't fight dirty, right? Like they didn't like poke him in the eye and stuff.
No,
like
they when they went up and like locked up with the bear. It was really funny because the bear had like this one move. It was just fantastic. They were up on the stage,
go-to.
right? Like this, they like performing type stage, right? Like the kind of like the wood and like make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And so like lock up with them, and the bear had this one move, and that was to put his big bear paws on their shoulders
just
push down, crush, and they would hit the ground just like boom. There's this booming sound. You'd be like, oh, that had to have hurt. It was bad. Granted, this was like 15 years ago. So this was funny. A long time ago I saw this. But yeah, it was funny. These people just got destroyed from there, like limping off, because the bear just wrecked them. One guy though, he took a different approach, and he like tackled the bear from like low, like spared the bear. Bear. I can't say bear and beer. I've struggled with those words for a very long time, and if you try to get me to say like spear and bear together, like it's really hard. So, he speared the bear and and knocked it down once, and then the bear came back and just crushed him again.
I'm surprised he could knock it down even. That's kind of impressive. Those things are big and heavy.
Yeah, it was like a medium-sized one. It wasn't
like a bear cub. Come wrestle the newborn bear.
Right.
And it still destroyed people.
It was taller than people when it was like taller than adult men when it was standing up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it was like a 12-foot bear, there's just coming out. But it was still like double the weight at least of these people. Yeah. And it was huge. It was strong. And it was
that's pretty nuts.
Really, really funny at the time. We were like 50. Nuts. So this was like the funniest thing we'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And you know what? If it wasn't for that show being at the IX Center at the Outdoorsman show, then I never would have saw it, because they never did any sort of advertising to me to be like, hey, come watch people wrestle a bear. Come drive out to the middle of nowhere to watch this thing. Okay. It was with my admission to this thing. right?
You
And
didn't
I'm not
like
even
see
sure
it at the
they
end of someone's driveway when you're
it
going through
it
neighborhoods?
wasn't at the end of someone's driveway. I wasn't just,
Yeah.
like, driving around, cruising around,
Yeah.
just, like, listening to music and be like, "Oh, wait, bear wrestling. I'm totally going there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do this, guys. Come on, family. We're gonna watch
That's
bear wrestling." No, it wasn't like
huh.
that at all.
Huh.
Yeah, funny. There was, like, a big venue that did, like, all this advertising, and then, like, something about their message got me to show up, and once I showed up,
There
me
was
and my
bear
buddy
wrestling.
bought
Yeah.
stuff. We bought stuff, and there was bear wrestling, and there was a water
Yeah.
skiing squirrel. There was all this stuff that we had never heard of, but we did hear about the show. We heard about the outdoor show,
Mhm.
but none of the individual things until we walked in the door.
Weird.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
weird.
I can't relate that to anything else though. I'm
Yeah, I
looking
can't
for
think of anything how that
how
would
you
fit
could
in.
relate this outdoor show to something else we might all have experienced.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Stuff. So one other thing that people have a beef with, aside from the expense, aside from yeah, I guess aside from the expenses, most we've been talking about,
Yeah.
who owns the customer? Okay,
Mm.
you know that's a semi-valid point. Okay, but Etsy doesn't want you to spam your customer, doesn't want you to get all promotional because I get it, right? We don't want our inboxes, being blown up with promotion all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so I get that, but it's not that hard. Just don't be spammy. Don't go messaging people or throw people on
Yeah.
email lists they didn't subscribe to,
Yeah, well,
right?
and that's the thing too. If you
So
had your own website, would you do that otherwise? Would you spam people if you had your own site? Because Etsy won't let you do it, so you're going to have your own site so that you can spam. I don't think so. Like that's
I don't think
terrible.
so either. Yeah, but I think a lot of people are taking this to mean like don't communicate with your customer.
Yeah.
Because we've gone through this before. We've said, hey, a great way to get feedback is to ask for it. Follow up with customers. Like you want reviews, follow up with them.
Hmm.
Ask, make sure, hey, did I exceed expectations? Every time I buy from a third party seller on Amazon, for example,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Amazon has similar rules to this, by the way.
Hmm.
Um, but every time I do, they send me an email
Yeah.
and they let me know it's shipped.
Yeah.
They let me know, hey, here's an instruction guide we put together. Or they say, hey, I want to reach out and make sure that your order, like this product we sent you, has exceeded all of your expectations.
Yeah.
And if it did, we'd really appreciate if you'd leave us a review.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Are they selling me anything? No, they're following up. They're saying, hey, I care. You bought from me and I'm not disappearing. Because that's one of the things that people actually worry about anyway.
Yeah.
You make a sale and then the people are nowhere to be found again. They've just disappeared.
Yeah.
And these people, so you don't know offhand anyway, first of all. Someone buys something in your shop, they receive it, you don't get a review or you don't hear from them. You actually have no idea what they thought about it yet.
Yeah.
So for you to message them or follow up with them in any way and say, hey, I just want to reach out and make sure that, what you got exceeded your expectations in every way. Um, and get any feedback you might have that could help make it better or whatnot. Well, you could be walking into from their mind, right? They never told you what they thought one way or the other. So it could go either way. But you want to know either way. Because if people didn't have a good experience, don't you want to know that so you can fix it?
I would
Of
hope
course you
so.
do.
Yeah.
Yes. And if it was a great experience, people are going to be happy to share that too, and you're going to want to hear that too. But people aren't looking. The customer's not looking at this as like, oh my gosh, they're coming to harass me to ask me if I liked the product. Oh my gosh, they just
Yeah.
want me to buy so much more stuff. Like, no, they care.
Hmm.
So stop being so cynical and start caring. Follow up. But who owns your customer thing?
Yeah.
You know, it's your brand. Like, what did you do otherwise? So someone came over to Etsy, they searched for a product, they found your product in your shop, they bought from you. Excellent. Well, you can still do things, leave a lasting impression. I mean, you most likely put like a business card at least in your packaging, right? Like you've done these things, you have done different steps to go above and beyond. Probably a thank you note, stuff like that. Business cards, they can, multiple business cards, you can incentivize them to kind of like give them to friends or like ask them to give them to friends type of stuff. I know sometimes people put like coupons and stuff like that. Well, it doesn't sound all that restrictive. People can come back to your Etsy shop and buy. They can tell other people about your Etsy shop, come back and buy. And that's great. I mean, you're going to get repeat customers. The other thing you can do is you can have them opt into your email list. And then you can,
Have your way with
send
them.
them, what?
I said then you can have your way with them.
Yeah, and then you can have your way with them. Perfect. You can spam them, you can do all this other stuff, but you're not going to do that. That's the thing. You're not going to do that. So a lot of times people are worried about like, oh, I can't do this or that. Were you going to spam them anyway?
Yeah.
Probably not.
I hope not.
I hope not.
And if you were, well, then yeah, fine, get off Etsy.
Right? Maybe people are. I mean, also like, what are people signing up to your newsletter to get from you? That's kind of the first part of it.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully people are on our email list because they want the different value things we send out. Like we're not typically. Sometimes we ask you to buy something because, spoiler alert, we are running a business, so we do want you to buy things. But a lot of times it's valuable stuff.
Yeah.
It's content. It's an article on this. It's a video on that. It's top engagement keywords from the last week. It's things like that that we're sending out. And if you don't want them, simply don't get them. But if people are buying something from you and then they see your email list and they're like, and you describe what you're going to get, right? So if you join my email list, you're going to get XYZ. Oh,
Yeah.
I want that. Cool. Like,
yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Send them what they signed up for. You're going to have happy people. And you can do that and still be on Etsy.
Yeah.
And even if you're like, yeah, I know, but I really, 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 really want all the troubles that come with having my own shop off Etsy, then fantastic. Keep your Etsy shop in your packaging and stuff like that. You put in your business card and your coupons and stuff like that. The URL, the homepage, the whatever, your shop, you're sending them to on the internet. You have that go to your other one.
Yeah.
So it'll funnel people over. If you really, 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 really want to do that.
There you go.
Yeah. It's just another channel. It's another channel. It's like having a billboard and Facebook ads and Twitter ads and Instagram ads and stuff like that. As long as they're working, keep doing
it. Another thing you could do too that might be an easy way to do a little bit of testing is set up your separate website, right? Like you've got your mindset on the separate website. Set up this thing. Don't set it up to process payments yet. Just make everything on that site link back to your Etsy shop. So if they see a product over there, you send them to the product page on the Etsy shop. It's an extra step, but they're going to recognize the fact that it's Etsy and they can make a purchase right from that page. Then check your stats. Check your stats in your Etsy shop and see how many people are actually coming from your other site that you've put together. And compare that with the amount of traffic that you're getting because of Etsy, the Facebook traffic that goes there and the organic search traffic and all that stuff, right? If you're really going to get rid of Etsy, you're going to need to make sure that this other page that you've built up is just doing insane amounts of traffic and people are coming there in droves.
Yes, absolutely. And you might even get false positives because people will be like, oh, it's Etsy. I trust this.
Mm-hmm. This is true. This is true. Yeah.
There's one more thing about Etsy that people complain about too. And they say, well, I don't want to drive my traffic over to Etsy. And then they can see other shops too.
Mm-hmm.
But last time I checked, the internet is an even bigger place than Etsy is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think there's a lot of shops on Etsy, the internet is a superset of that place.
Yeah.
Here's Etsy's corner, and here's the internet.
Yeah. That would be like Etsy telling Google, whoa, we don't want to be included in Google shopping results because there's other people selling there. When in fact, they've just championed a relationship with Google to make it so that they show up more in those sorts of results.
Yeah. Agreed. So, I mean, while there's options, while there's other shops there, if you have a strong offering, then you're going to be okay.
Yep.
And something I've noticed in my own habits, we're all doing any sort of research or buying anything to solve some sort of problem that we have. Okay, regardless what it is, regardless if it's a vacation is still you're solving a problem. You're solving I need a break from it all. I need a warm sunny vacation. I need a whatever. I need to go to the pool. Whatever you gotta do, you're solving a problem. Okay, we've talked about that before. Whether or not you're getting a painting hanging on your wall, whatever it is, you're solving a problem. Well, what I've noticed is there could be competing products, and based on just the product, it might be hard to distinguish which one I should get. But I will Oh, basically always. I was going to say typically, but basically always go with the one that seems most helpful. The store, the company that seemed to help me the most along the journey. They provided me the most information. They provided the stuff that was most clear. I end up going back to their website to
Yeah.
reference more stuff.
Yeah.
I tend to reward them with my purchase because they were helpful along the way.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking, well, this other shop makes a product just like this too, well, you can still differentiate yourself, even if it's not something the buyer can necessarily see because it's pictures. You can be the equivalent of walking into a shop, right? And the person is there to be very helpful to you.
Yeah.
They're answering questions before you need to ask them. They're saying, and notice this. This is why you want this one. I can tell you've never bought one of these things before. Did
Yeah.
you know to look at this? And
Yeah.
no, I didn't, but you're teaching me so much. You've earned my sale.
Yeah.
So you can, it's not that hard to be better than the majority of places because the average is so much lower than you think.
Yeah. And, you know, it's kind of funny too, because as you're talking through that, it makes me think of local hardware stores. Remember, like way back in the day before they had like Home Depots and Lowe's everywhere, and every town had a local hardware store. When you would go to those hardware stores, the people there knew their stuff, right? You could explain to them what you're trying to do, and they could be like, oh, here's what you're going to want. You're going to need this, this, and this. And you're going to hook them together like this, and it's going to, boom, solved, right?
Yep.
You go to a Lowe's, you go to a Home Depot. Yeah, I'm not ripping on these places because people there, I think they are genuinely sometimes trying to be helpful with stuff, but it's not the same level of knowledge that they're bringing to the table as what those people had at local hardware shops. And, you know, that's really a lot like Etsy when you come to think of it, and the unique shops and unique people and stories and experiences that people have there versus like a big chain place, like your Walmarts, like your Targets, like your Amazons of the world, right? Where I'm buying things at these places. It's a totally different experience shopping between those two different locations.
Yep. Some of them are very cut and dry, and some of them, like the local hardware shop. You know, if you walk into the local hardware store and this guy helps you out and tells you all this stuff and is like adds a bunch of value about what you need to do,
Yeah.
where you might not have even known like how you go about doing this. Like, I need this door to stop squeaking. I don't really know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, here, have some oil, try it out. It's like, all right, well, this and that and all this information. Most people are not just going to walk out
and go buy it online.
Buy it online. Okay. They're going to buy from the person that really helped them.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if they're already on Etsy.
Yeah.
Right. And you helped them. You were very informative. Okay. They're not just going to be like, oh, but this one's 50 cents cheaper. I'm going to go over here and buy it instead. They're going to buy from you.
Yeah.
People are generally good. Except for Gordon.
Except for me.
Because he's amazing.
Oh, you're too sweet. Making me blush.
You deserve it.
I'm gonna go sit by the pool now.
I saw it snowing out your window a minute ago, dude. What pool are you gonna sit
by? It'll have to be heated.
It's called a hot tub, man.
That'd be nice. Yeah, should get a hot tub. Yeah.
I see room back there in your office for it.
Yeah, I could do that.
I want you to do your next jam from the hot tub.
Okay. It might be a while before the next one then. But I'll do it.
Well, dude, no one said you had like something fancy. Just go out there and get yourself a baby pool.
You know what I could do? I could probably go to like a store that sells hot tubs and just do the jam from the store. They probably wouldn't care, right?
Actually, gotta like that. You know what? Could be our first sponsor.
Oh yeah. Pools and More.
Brought to you on location from Pools and More.
Yeah. There you go. So if any of you have a pool store,
let us know.
Let us know. And it's within driving distance of Northeast Ohio.
There you go.
Yeah. We'll make it happen.
I love it.
Yeah. So what do we got next time, Richie? What's on the next Etsy Jam?
I actually don't know.
What's on the docket? We've got a guest coming up in the next show. We are going to be blah 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 blah. We're going to be talking to Kara Bunton. She has an Etsy shop and she sells a lot of DIY cake supplies. She also used to have a full-time gig making wedding cakes and stuff like that, which she is leaving to do only Etsy stuff now. So she's kind of switching gears in her life and choosing to focus solely on Etsy. So we're going to be talking to her in the next jam.
And let's give them her shop too, so they can take a look at that too. It's a cake to remember.
There you go.
Yep.
Much like A Night to Remember, except less tragic.
You and your references.
That's what it made me think of.
Well, I mean, it's tragic for the gig she's leaving.
Yeah, this is true.
But happy for the other one.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see how the story unfolds.
Yeah.
In our next jam.
Absolutely.
So you won't be doing that one from the hot tub
then? That'd be harder.
Let's do it from a cake store.
I can do it from a cake store.
I like it.
Or I could put a cake up behind me.
There you go.
I'll try to make a wedding cake.
Now, this is a reason to watch the jam versus listen or read about it.
That's right. Yeah. Otherwise, you just have to rely on my description of my leaning wedding cake. That is going to probably look sad.
Oh, it'll look happy. Be happy and leaning. That's fine.
Yeah. It's intentionally leaning and drippy and droopy.
Can't wait to see it.
There you go.
Yeah. She can critique it.
Oh, okay. She'll be like, I like it all except for this part.
I think you messed up when you started there. Wasn't so much that you did one thing wrong, but everything wrong.
There wasn't any one thing I can point to. Yeah. Probably.
Oh, I like that.
Probably.
There was something that we were talking about, and I was like, we should totally do this like American Idol, Simon Cowell style, where it's just like,
oh yeah,
really, really sassy and like,
yeah,
overboard, dramatic.
It was related to the Burger King tweets.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, or Wendy's, or see, now I forget.
I think it was Wendy's.
Yeah, there you go.
That was funny. There was something going around where someone from Wendy's on Twitter, whoever was managing their account, started to roast people for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of started with this conversation where someone called them out and said, you say your burger meat is fresh and never frozen.
Yeah.
And
but
that's
how do you
a lie.
get it to the stores? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they're like, no, it is true. Like, it's fresh and never frozen. And they're like, well, how do you get it to the stores? You tell them you just ship it there in a hot truck. You just ship raw meat in a hot truck.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, and they said something about like McDonald's is better or something like that. Yeah. And Wendy's replies and is like, hey, don't bring them into this just because you forgot refrigerators existed there for a minute.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just awesome.
It was good. And then they kind of keep doing it to other people. Someone else is like, hey, Wendy's, roast me. And they're like, okay, why don't you ask one of your 21 followers to roast you? It's pretty good.
It was good.
So if you want to get roasted by us, we can do a roast show.
Or if you are a comedian or happen to know a comedian, we're thinking about doing some sort of like Twitter account takeover thing where like, you know, where like on this day, Marmalead's just going to roast people.
Yeah. But, or if you want to roast us.
Yeah, or you can roast us. There you go. Let us know. Otherwise, we might just feel sad. You guys just keep eating.
Exactly. There you go.
There you go. So, next episode, Etsy Jam, Kara Bunton from Cake to Remember.
Check out her shop ahead of time, and then we'll be chatting with her in the next episode. So, we'll see you guys next time on Etsy Jam.
Till next time.